Hey guys, welcome to our weekly news show here on Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and today we're going to be talking about India's updated cryptocurrency situation and its first ever NFT marketplace, home delivery of alcohol in Delhi, Nykaa's IPO plans, Dunzo's medicine drone delivery pilot, some acquisitions in India's startup ecosystem, as well as all of the latest funding news and more coming up right after this. All right, so first up in the news, India's largest cryptocurrency exchange, WazirX, has finally launched the country's first ever NFT marketplace. So in case you're an artist who's looking to make some money from selling NFTs, or you're somebody who's looking to purchase them, you should know that first of all, this marketplace is currently in its beta phase, meaning that a lot of new features are going to be coming out over the next couple of months. And another thing that's worth noting is that currently this marketplace is available in India, but it's also available to a lot of other Asian countries as well. So if you're watching this video and you're actually based out of another Asian country besides India, you can still use this marketplace. So the way that things stand right now, WazirX takes a 5% commission from the sale of any NFTs on their platform. And besides that, you're only able to purchase and sell NFTs on this platform using WazirX tokens. So something else that I think is worth noting here is that in the next couple of months, WazirX is going to be introducing a royalty fee feature, which would enable artists to collect a royalty fee every single time one of their NFTs is sold. Every time it changes hands, they take a cut, which is one of the things that I think is really cool and differentiates NFTs from the real world. Let's say you're a painter and you're selling a physical painting to somebody. That sale is the only time that you're ever gonna make any money from that painting. Even if that seller sells the painting to someone else who sells the painting to someone else, even if the painting changes hands 100 times, in the real world, the only money that you've ever made as the artist is from the original sale. But with NFTs, that's not the case. Besides this, in the future, WazirX is also planning on introducing an auction feature. So instead of selling NFTs at a fixed price, artists can actually auction off their NFTs to the highest bidder. Now, obviously, NFTs are still very new here in India. This marketplace has only been around for a week, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on the future of NFTs here in India. Do you think that they're gonna see the same kind of success that they have in other markets, for example, the United States? Or do you think that the public response here in India is going to be a little bit different? Let me know what your thoughts are in a comment down below. All right, next up in the news, we finally have some clarity on the future of cryptocurrency here in India. Back in 2018, the RBI released a circular which effectively banned cryptocurrency in the country by prohibiting banks from offering services to crypto trading platforms. For a while, the future of cryptocurrency in India was very uncertain. Then though, in 2020, the Supreme Court shut down this prohibition by ruling that the circular that the RBI had released was unlawful. And so the ban on cryptocurrency in India was lifted, and everybody involved in the cryptocurrency space breathed a sigh of relief. Now, in spite of the Supreme Court's ruling, the RBI hadn't changed their stance on cryptocurrency. They still weren't happy that people were trading cryptocurrency here in India. And so in 2021, just earlier this year, the RBI quietly nudged banks to be a little bit more cautious when dealing with cryptocurrency platforms. And in the absence of any new official circular, this prompted the banks to refer back to the 2018 circular, which of course started to cause a lot of confusion because cryptocurrency platforms, exchanges, investors in the space, entrepreneurs that were starting up in the space felt like this had all been settled by the Supreme Court. But the banks we're still referencing this 2018 circular. Now, this was all happening at a time when internationally cryptocurrencies were becoming more popular than ever. And so this issue with the RBI and banks and crypto trading platforms here in India was getting a ton of media attention. And as a result, the RBI has been forced to release an updated 2021 circular clarifying the situation. So basically, what the RBI is saying with this new circular, in a nutshell, is that banks should continue to do their due diligence by requiring KYC and combating things like money laundering and the financing of terrorism. But they're also clarifying that the 2018 circular that they made about cryptocurrency is no longer valid. So that's brought a lot of peace to the cryptocurrency space, at least for the time being. That being said though, the Indian government is currently working on a bill which could potentially ban all cryptocurrencies in India. One way or another, the future of cryptocurrency here in India is still uncertain. However, in the absence of any official ban or restrictions, a number of prominent Indian crypto trading platforms have partnered with the Internet and Mobile Association of India to set up a code of conduct for India's crypto industry. Besides this, they are also planning on setting up an advisory board which would act as a self-regulatory body for the crypto industry. All right, next up in the news, it looks like the delivery of alcohol is finally going to be allowed in India's capital city of Delhi, but with a couple of caveats. Firstly, delivery orders can only be taken through a website or an app. Secondly, the alcohol can only be delivered to a residence. It can't be delivered to an office or a hostel or some other institution. And thirdly, the companies that are actually delivering the alcohol will need to be L13 license holders. Now, given that there are 39 types of alcohol licenses here in India, this means that only a handful of license holders are actually going to be able to participate in these alcohol deliveries. Furthermore, it's not entirely clear that this is actually going to stick long term. Back in 2020, we saw a number of different states allowing alcohol delivery for the first time ever, but then as time went on, there were issues with police and local administration, and so those states ended up shutting it down once again. Specifically, I'm referring to Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal. Now, the Supreme Court has encouraged all of India's states to at least consider the possibility of allowing alcohol delivery, mainly to stop the spread of COVID-19, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this. Is this a backslide? Is this a bad thing? Or should alcohol delivery be encouraged and promoted across India? Let me know what your thoughts are in a comment down below. All right, next up in the news, it looks like Dunzo is gonna start delivering medicine using drones. See, last month, the Telangana government announced its ambitious Medicine from the Sky project, which is being backed by the World Economic Forum. Under this project, they're gonna be using drones to safely and reliably deliver medical supplies like medicine, COVID-19 vaccines, and equipment. And they're gonna be using Dunzo to do it. Now, if you want to know more about this particular news story or anything else that we've talked about in this video, then be sure to check out the pinned comment down below. We'll be putting a bunch of links to various news articles and resources, so do check that out. But I think this is a great opportunity overall for Telangana, for Dunzo, and for India at large. This is the first time that we're seeing this kind of application on such a big scale for drones. So I'm really excited to see how it goes, and I'm really hoping that it's a success. All right, next up in the news, it is official, guys. Nykaa is going public. They're expected to file their draft red herring prospectus either this month or in July, and they're going to be going public by the end of this financial year. They're planning to raise between $500 and $700 million at an expected valuation of $4.5 billion. Nykaa is also one of the few profitable unicorns in India. In the financial year of 2020, they posted a revenue of 1,983 crore rupees and a profit of 78 lakh rupees. All right, moving on to some acquisition news now. Construction material marketplace unicorn Infra.Market has acquired a majority stake in Equiphunt for $10 million. So in a nutshell, what Equiphunt does is they offer construction equipment on rent, and they keep track of that equipment and they can control it and make sure that it's working properly using IoT technology. Now, Equiphunt currently has more than 4,000 pieces of construction equipment spread out across 25 cities. So this is going to be a huge asset for Infra.Market. All right, next up in the acquisition news, Byju is continuing their acquisition spree by buying up HashLearn to further strengthen their position in the test preparation market. HashLearn is a subscription-based on-demand tutoring platform that connects students with tutors at any time. It's 24/7. This platform helps students between the 8th and 12th standard to prepare for their exams to get into competitive engineering and medical colleges. All right, next up in the acquisition news, Binny Bunsel's X to 10X, which helps startups to scale their business efficiently, has acquired HR tech startup Dockabl. Dockabl offers a performance management tool that helps companies to track and enhance employee productivity. With this acquisition, X to 10X is now able to offer their customers a comprehensive product suite. These customers can align their objectives and goals through 10X Goals with their employees through 10X People, and they can keep track of the progress through Dockabl. All right, moving on to some funding news now. Logistics unicorn Delhivery has raised approximately $277 million in a funding round led by Fidelity and GIC at a valuation of $3 billion, which is a $1 billion jump from their valuation in December of 2020. Now, I also think it's worth noting that Delhivery is going public later this year, so this could potentially be the last funding round before that happens. All right, next up in the funding news, on-demand home services unicorn Urban Company has finally closed their $255 million funding round at a valuation of $2.1 billion. Back in April of this year, they raised $188 million out of that $255 million, which made them a unicorn. The startup is eyeing profitability in the next 12 to 18 months and plans to go public in 2023. They're going to be using these fresh funds to invest in training and development of their partners, to expand into 100 new cities in India, and also to access the Southeast Asian market. All right, next up in the funding news, B2B e-commerce and financing startup OfBusiness is in talks to raise between $100 and $150 million from SoftBank at an expected valuation of $1.2 billion, which would make it India's latest unicorn. OfBusiness helps small and medium-sized enterprises to procure raw materials for their business. These are things like metals, chemicals, agro-commodities, and polymers. Besides this, they also help their customers to access working capital through their very own NBFC. All right, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do hit the like button. It really helps us out. And also, if you haven't already subscribed, we post new videos every single week about Indian startups, entrepreneurs, and the latest news. Also, I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our Backstage with Millionaires members, our unicorns and our decacorns, as well as everybody who's been applauding our videos recently, especially on weeks like this one where my energy levels are essentially half of what they normally are because I got vaccinated on Tuesday and I still haven't fully recovered from the side effects yet. You guys are out there, you're watching the videos, you're supporting us financially, and you're loving what we're doing. So thanks to each and every one of you for supporting what we're doing here. But even if you can't afford to financially support what we're doing, just the fact that you've made it this far in the video says plenty about how much you love our content and how much you want to support us in whatever way that you can. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Backstage with Millionaires, and I will see you in the next one.